Good morning. How y'all doing? How y'all doing this morning? What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? How's everybody? Happy Monday to you. Y'all ready to kick this week off? Y'all ready to roll? Huh? Y'all ready for an amazing week? Huh? Everybody ready? Ready to make this week great? That's right. Happy Monday to y'all, man. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? Yeah, we're blessed, Miss Kelly. You're right. We're blessed. We are blessed. Happy Monday. You're in the land of the living. Come on, somebody. Huh? Need a jump start? Amen. Amen. Is it Teacher and Nurse Appreciation Week? Is it really? Well, God bless all of our teachers and nurses. God bless all of our teachers and nurses. They got the teachers and the nurses on the same week, huh? That makes sense. Without teachers and nurses, we'd be the dead or dumb. So shouts out to our teachers and our nurses. And we don't want to be either one. We need to be dead or dumb. Shouts out to all of our teachers and nurses, man. Hope y'all have an amazing week. But you know what? They should give y'all week like after y'all don't have to deal with their children anymore. Your week teachers should be like in the summer or something, you know? Unless they bad kids, bring y'all stuff, but don't eat it if they cook. Don't do that. Thank you to those of you who've already hit share, man. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Those of you who've already hit share, if you hadn't done so, go ahead and hit that share button, man. That's right. Think about it. It's true. It's true. If we don't have teachers and we don't have nurses, huh? I'm not being messy. I'm not. I'm not being messy. Think about it. Think about it. If we don't have teachers and nurses, it's two options at that point. We either dead or dumb. And we don't want to be either one. So God bless all of our teachers and God bless all of our nurses. Thank y'all for your service. We appreciate it. You know, we really do. Hey, let me tell y'all something, man. To start the week off, all right? You ready for this? Know what you're responsible for. Know what you're responsible for. And don't make yourself responsible for things that God hadn't given you responsibility for. On your job, know what you're responsible for. Huh? And don't make yourself responsible for things that you hadn't been given responsibility for. Come on, somebody. And with your children, in your marriage, in every area of your life, start this week off saying, you know what? What am I responsible for? What am I responsible for? Right? Why would I do that, Pastor? Here's why. Because you can eliminate any worry about things that you're not responsible for. And I think a lot of the worry in our lives, a lot of the concern in our lives, a lot of the stress in our lives happens when we either don't know what we're responsible for or we know what we're responsible for, but we take responsibility for things that are not our responsibility. Know what you're responsible for and don't make yourself responsible for things that God never made you responsible for. Watch this. Because if I am not responsible for it, chances are my control over it and my ability to change it is limited. And that's how worry happens when remember last week we talked about how worry happens when we overly concern ourselves with things that are out of our control. Come on, know what you're responsible for. And start this week off saying I'm not taking responsibility for anything that God did not make me responsible for, that I am not responsible for. You you're gonna kill some of your worry right there. That know the difference. Here's the key. Know the difference between helping with and taking responsibility for. There's a huge difference. I can help you with what you've got going on without taking responsibility for what you've got going on. You are the only person in your life who can rightly take responsibility for what God has given you responsibility for. I can't do that. And here's what people will do. There are people in your life who will try to lay their responsibility at your feet, who will try to make you responsible for what God made them responsible for. That's right, Miss Kelly. They'll try to make you responsible for what God made them responsible for. And if you accept responsibility for what God made them responsible for, you're relieving their stress and adding to yours. Come on, somebody. Why would we do that, Pastor? We take responsibility for things that are not our responsibility. Um, Again, it goes back to that illusion of control. It goes back to that illusion of control. And here's the thing: worry leads to some of the same things that control leads to. And the reason why, well, it looks a lot like the symptoms are, let me say, the foundation, the root of it. Some of the roots of worry is the same as some of the roots of control. I'll say it that way. Why do you say that? Because what you worry in the direction that you value. And what you worry about the most reveals what you value the most. What you worry about the most reveals what you value. If you worry about your kids' safety, it's because you value your kids. You worry about your relationships is because you value relationships. If you worry about getting married, is because you value being married. Just like when things you try to control, try to control in the direction that you value. You worry, what you worry about the most reveals what you value the most. Said a husband called the cops crying and said, I lost my wife. She was shopping and she never came back. The cop said, what was she wearing? Husband said, I don't know. I think it was like a dress or some jeans. Cop said, well, how much does she weigh? Husband said, I don't know. Cop said, is she slim? Is she tall? Skinny build, medium build? I, Medium, maybe? I'm not sure. Well, what color are her eyes? The cop asked. I never noticed the eyes. Well, what color is her hair? I'm not sure. I think she dyed it. Well, was she driving a car? Yes. What color was the car, sir? It was a black Audi A8 with a supercharged 3.0 liter V6. It has 333 horsepower with a manual transmission and nitrous, full LED headlights with peanut butter leather interior. It's got a small imperfection in leather on the rear passenger side armrest and a very thin scratch on the left door. And then all of a sudden, the man started crying and said, you got to find my baby. The cop said, don't worry about it, sir. We're going to find your car. We're going to find her. We're going to find her. We're going to find your car. What you worry about the most reveals what you value the most. It also reveals where you trust God the least. It also reveals where you trust God the least. See, a person who worries a lot still think that they can solve their problems better than God can. And buckle up, because that's pride. Pride says I can trust me more than I trust God. Pride says I got to do it because I can't trust God to do it. I got to fix it because I can't trust God to fix it. Watch this. You ready? Prideful people worry, humble people wait. Whew. Prideful people worry, humble people wait. When I worry, I'm saying, Lord, I don't trust you. I trust me more than you. I trust my abilities more than yours. I trust my power more than yours. So now Satan has me on this hamster wheel. I want you to think about this. Satan has me on this hamster wheel because I don't trust God to do it. I can't do it myself. So I get on the hamster wheel and I resort to worry, and I worry myself out of my peace. I worry myself out of my good mood. I worry myself out of my contentment. I worry myself out of my joy. One of the definitions of worry is to torment myself with disturbing thoughts. Another one is to gnaw at or drag around with teeth. That's what Satan loves to do to us with worry. He loves to torment us, harass us, use worry to drag us around. Why? Because if your enemy or Satan can keep your mind preoccupied with stuff that you can't do anything about, then you'll never be as useful as you could be. I'm going to say that again because somebody needs to get that at the beginning of this week. If Satan can keep your mind preoccupied with stuff that you can't do anything about, you will never be as useful as you could be. If he can keep your mind out on stuff that you cannot control, then he can keep your mind away from God's purpose for your life. If he can keep your mind focused on what you cannot do, then he can keep it away from what you can do. Whew. Don't allow Satan to keep your mind focused this week on what you cannot do. Why? Because as long as you're focused on what you cannot do, then you're not focused on what you can do. The more focus you put on what you cannot do, the more focus the less focus you have on what you can do. And so now you're less productive, you're less purposeful, you're less useful. Come on, somebody. If he can keep you focused on what you can't do, then he can keep you away from what you can do. You know what I never heard, and I'm gone when I say this. You know what I've never ever heard anybody say? Anybody? Ever? Ever, ever? No, I've never heard anybody say, I've never heard anybody say, I had a problem. I was that was on my mind, and I worried myself into a solution. I just worried that problem away. Never heard anybody say that. I never heard anybody say, I was having a bad day and I worried myself into a better place mentally. Pastor, I had a problem, but as soon as I started worrying, it went away. Said nobody ever. How did you improve your health? I worried myself into better health. I never heard it before. I mean, maybe you've heard it before. I've never heard anybody say, I worried myself into better health. Huh? Never heard that one happen before. Y'all, listen, I've never heard anybody say, man, I was so worried about my bills that they just paid themselves. I was so worried about them bills that they just paid themselves. They just paid themselves. Huh? I was so worried about those children that I worried my kids into better decision making. Huh? I've never, maybe you can enlighten me. I've never heard anybody say that. I've never heard anybody say they worried their wife into being a better wife. They worried their husband into being a better husband. Matter of fact, I've never heard anybody say that worry ever produced anything productive in their life. Never heard it. Never heard anybody say that worrying produced anything productive in their life. Don't take responsibility for things this week that God didn't give you responsibility for. Don't do it. And remember that the time that you spent worrying, you could have spent worrying about things that you could not control. You could have spent doing things that are within your control. I hope this helps you get off to a better week, to a great week, to an awesome week. I hope you experience the blessings of the Lord this week like you've never experienced before. I hope his favor is upon you this week like never before. I hope it surrounds you and goes before you and follows you like mercy and grace, and that it's upon your children and their children. I really do. I hope that this is a week where you experience God, where you experience his presence. Come on, where you experience his peace in spite of anything that you might encounter. I hope that this is that. I hope that this is a week where God blows your mind. Come on, somebody. I hope that this is a week where you are just floored, where you are drawn into his presence. Come on, in such an overwhelming way that you at some point fall to your knees in worship. That's what I hope for you this week. I hope that you experience the presence of the Lord and the peace of the Lord so overwhelmingly. Come on, somebody. That in that time of worship, nothing else matters. That the only thing that matters at that time is what should matter: the presence and the blessings of God in and upon your life. I pray you have that kind of week. God bless y'all. Thank you for those of you who have already hit that share button. If you hadn't already done it, please go ahead and hit share. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dr. A. Nathan Young Community Church. And Lord willing, I'll see y'all right back here tomorrow morning, man, for Jumpstart Live with Dr. A. Nathan Young. I love each and every one of y'all, man. Y'all have an amazing Monday. God bless you.